Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari battled dramatically during the 2025 Miami Grand Prix, with a poor strategy and delayed communication sending the seven-time world champion into a frenzy of radio fury. What began as a hopeful weekend with a promising sprint performance suddenly devolved into a public outburst of dissatisfaction between Hamilton, his engineer Riccardo Adami, and the Ferrari pit crew. Are the cracks already starting to show? And how can they improve moving forward? Expectations were cautiously positive following Hamilton's strategic masterstroke on Saturday, when he claimed third place in the sprint by swapping to slick tyres early. But on Sunday, Ferrari's pace had dwindled. Leclerc and Hamilton, who began with split plans, quickly became caught in a slow-moving tragedy on the track and on the radio. The trouble came when Hamilton, who was running on new mediums, got stuck behind Leclerc, who was still on hard tyres. As Hamilton tried to catch Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli, he became visibly upset, and tensions over the team radio rose. "Stop talking to me while I'm freaking in battle, man. Geesh, in the braking zone you're talking to me." Hamilton snapped over the team radio. He followed up minutes later with growing concern about tyre degradation. "How far are people ahead of Charles? I'm just burning up my tyres behind him." Adami's reaction was not particularly helpful. "Understood. Antonelli is 6 seconds ahead of Charles." Hamilton's reaction: "So you want me to just sit here behind Leclerc the whole race?" Adami: "I'll come back to you." Then came the decision, which infuriated Hamilton even further. Adami: "I want to keep DRS to Charles. Go ahead like this." Hamilton didn't mince words. You guys are... This is not good teamwork. That's all I'm going to say." When Hamilton mentioned China, he tried to stress the issue. "In China, I got out of the way when you were on a different strategy." Finally, Ferrari conceded. Adami: "We swap the cars. We swap." Hamilton: "Have a tea break while you're at it. Come on." The delay meant that by the time Leclerc arrived, the opportunity for catching Antonelli had narrowed considerably. Hamilton was told, "Antonelli 4.9 ahead." How did he respond? "Well, now I've used all my tyres." From there, the pursuit became an exercise in futility. Hamilton: "Am I catching or not?" Adami: "Need a 30.7 to catch in 6 to 7 laps." Hamilton: "Let me know where I'm losing." Adami: "Yep, Antonelli 31.7 last lap." The deficit narrowed slightly. Adami: 2.8, tight. But now it was Leclerc, who was closing in and becoming frustrated. Ferrari flipped the call again. Adami told us, "We're going to swap the cars in T17. Hamilton inquired, "So, you don't think I can catch up or what?" Adami says, "Yes." To make matters worse, Ferrari told Leclerc of the exchange before alerting Hamilton, resulting in a missed opportunity to complete the move at turn 11. Hamilton finally gave up the position at turn 17. Adami: "Sainz is 1.4 behind." Hamilton, oozing sarcasm: "You want me to let him past as well?" In the closing laps, Sainz lunged at Hamilton into turn 17, causing contact, but Hamilton held firm to finish 8th. Adami's final words, "Good effort out there, good job," were received with silence. The post-race vibe was grim. Leclerc admitted, "A lot of frustration, a lot, but there are things that are better to talk about with the team, and that's what we'll do today. It was a very difficult Sunday. I was very, very angry. I tried to turn on the radio as little as possible, but it was difficult." Leclerc also stated that his patience was taxed and that a lack of timely information made it difficult to remain focused. He added, "The discussions on the radio. I don't know what Lewis wanted, but in any case, I don't blame him. The goal for both of us is to maximize the result. I think there wasn't enough discussion on my side before the position swap. At that point, I was trying to save my words for the end. Then I was asked to move, which I did immediately. In the end, it didn't work. But oh well, that's how things go." He also expressed doubts about Ferrari's trajectory. For 4 races, including this one, so since the previous triple header, I have been saying that we are extracting the maximum potential from the car. Before there was a bit more, we showed it in the triple header, while this weekend, there was absolutely none. We have to understand why. The feeling that I had positive in the 3 previous races, I didn't have this weekend. We have to understand why, but we are not fast enough. Hamilton also spoke to the media. We will solve it internally. We will figure it out. We are not where we want to be, Charles and I. The team has to make decisions faster. We have wasted precious time arguing among ourselves. Reflecting on his mid-race sarcasm, Hamilton said, "At that moment I was a bit frustrated for sure. It was just that it wasn't clear what they wanted to do, and it's not the right situation for a team. I saw the cars up front. I said, maybe I can catch them. But right there, I lost a lot of time." Charles was on the tyre that I had before, and which wasn't good, at least initially, and he was clearly struggling in front of me. I lost a lot of seconds behind Charles. It took them a long time to make that decision, so at that moment, I was definitely frustrated. Ferrari's boss, Fred Vasseur, attempted to defend the team's attitude. "It didn't take so long. It was 1 lap and a half, or something like this," Vasseur claimed. "When we have 2 cars, not with the same strategy, the first thing to understand if it's faster when you are behind due to the DRS or not. It took us 1 lap. It means that it's 1 minute 30 to understand, and then we asked them to swap." He acknowledged the criticism, but insisted, "Perhaps you can argue at the end that we would have been better to do it directly, but we didn't know if it was the DRS effect or not. And I think we take the tough decision because it's never easy to ask Charles or Lewis to swap. But we did it, and they did it on track. I didn't see a lot of other teams doing it." On the final swap, Vasseur added, "It's the policy of the team that if you ask them to swap, if you don't ask them to swap, they don't overtake. If you ask them to swap, it's because we think that the second car is faster than the first one at that stage of the race. We try to catch up the guy who is in front, and if we don't do it, we swap back to respect the initial position." Leclerc had lobbied for the trade after Hamilton had failed to catch Antonelli. Vasseur remained unapologetic. "Honestly, I think that we did what we have to do. You can always argue that it would have been better to do it half a lap before or half a lap later." He also accused FOM's broadcast delay for making the radio messages appear worse than they were. "The radio transmissions, first you have to understand that it's FOM who is managing the delay," Vasseur stated. "It means that sometimes we're asking them something and you have it live, half a lap later or 1 lap later, but it was still under control." With tensions lessening slightly after the race, Ferrari faces a challenging road ahead. Media scrutiny has increased, with analysts criticizing the squad for squandering opportunities and appearing indecisive in crucial race moments. Fans, too, have resorted to social media to criticize the lack of coordination, likening the Ferrari pit wall to a committee stuck in a group chat, as one user sarcastically stated. What happens next might determine the rest of Ferrari's season. If strategy and communication are not improved, they fear falling behind McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull, while also undermining the morale and trust of their star drivers. For Hamilton, the Miami disaster was more than simply a bad race. It was a preview of what he hoped to avoid when he left Mercedes. For Leclerc, it was another reminder that raw speed is nothing without wise calls from the garage. Will Ferrari learn? Will Vasseur bring the clarity that this team urgently needs? Or will Miami be remembered as the moment their campaign fell apart? The next few races will provide answers. For the time being, the team departs Florida with more than just points. They also have reputational and relational damages. What began as tea-break snark ended with quiet anxiety. Ferrari cannot afford another cup of that dismal tea. So, will they change their approach to team orders and strategy? It seems their separated strategies for the has only been bringing troubles in recent races. What do you think? Can they overcome this dismal form? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.